All right, part 2 of subtracting integers. We wrote some rules today, but we talked about how it's all keep, change, change. That's the formula we use, or that's the little helper tool we use to subtract integers is keep, change, change. In a previous video, we used keep, change, change to solve these, and now we're going to solve some more difficult subtraction problems where we are still going to use keep, change, change, and we're going to use the addition rule sometimes when we need to, but now we've got these absolute value bars that what we do is we treat them first like parentheses. So we will work what is inside of the absolute value bars first before we deal with these leftover pieces that are outside of them. So we won't do anything with this negative symbol. We won't do anything with this positive 16 until we deal with what's inside. On this one, we won't deal with the negative 7 or the minus 7 until we deal with this. So let's start with number 14 here. We already know how to deal with negative 12 plus 8 because that's like what we did yesterday in class. We are adding integers. They have different signs. One is negative, one is positive. Our rules for that say that we find the difference between those two numbers. Excuse me. The difference between those two numbers is 4. We have more negatives than we do positives, so we're going to call it negative 4. We have not used the absolute value yet, so we're going to carry those down into the next step, and we're going to carry down the negative 7 or the subtract 7 down into the next step. The absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4, so we can drop the absolute value bars now because we've used them, and we bring down everything else. We've got 4 minus 7. When we subtract integers, we use keep, change, change. Some students are at the point now where they realize what the answer to this question is because they know we're taking away more than we have, so they know we're going to have a negative number. But keep, change, change can still work for us. Keep the 4, change the subtraction to addition, and this is positive 7, okay? So we want to remember we're doing this in chunks. So even though it might look like negative 7, it's not. That's the subtraction symbol. So we're changing that to addition, keep, change, and the last change is positive 7 to negative 7. And if we follow the rules for addition, different signs, find the difference, more negative, then we have positive, so the answer is negative. So negative 3 is the answer to the absolute value of negative 12 plus 8 minus 7 is negative 3, okay? And then we had some big problems, and we called these our elephants today, and we said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So before we can try to solve this, we have to be committed to taking this step by step, just like we did over here. There's no fast way to do this, and we make mistakes when we go too fast. So we're going to go slow. Our focus is what's between the absolute value symbols first, and even inside there, we've got to take it slow with a few of these pieces because we've got more. We've got 3 add-ins here that we're adding instead of just 2. So we already know we're going to carry this negative symbol down before we start dealing with anything. We're going to carry the absolute value down. We're going to carry down the plus 16. But we need to decide inside of here what it is that we're going to deal with. And we'll just go left to right. 19 plus negative 3. We'll deal with that piece first. We're adding 2 numbers, so the rules of addition of integers says that we find the difference when the signs are different, one positive, one negative, so the difference between those two would be 16. We have more positive than we do negative, so it's going to be positive 16. So this is the only piece that we've dealt with. That and that is what got us our positive 16, and the plus 8 we bring down and we'll deal with it separately. One bite at a time. So here we go on our next step. Going to leave this symbol here. We're going to combine 16 and 8. So 16 plus 8 to get us to 24. We have not used the absolute value bars yet, so we're just going one piece at a time. The absolute value of 24 is 24. It's already a positive number, so it stays a positive number. And now we bring down this symbol, and we bring down plus 16. Now we're at a very manageable problem here. We are adding. We have more negatives than we do positive, so we know our answer is going to be negative. Their signs are different, so we find the difference. The difference between 24 and 16 is 8, and it's negative 8 because we have more negative than we do positive. So very scary sometimes to look at these big problems, but if we can take them one piece at a time and not try to do too much, they get more manageable each step that we take, and we can find the answer to them if we'll go slow and use our rules. So use keep, change, change, and the addition rules for integers when you get to some that are using both. Hope this helps tonight as you work through some other examples on your homework, and we'll see you in class.